All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Pray everyone is doing well. Welcome to Bill Korman's Mindset Revolution show. And we're excited to connect with you guys today. We have some really cool things to discuss. Got some check in with all of our folks that are on here week after week on this journey of transformation and mindset revolution. We're so excited to have you guys back. And we are on a journey together. I was thinking, how do I want to frame this? Because I've got some messages from some people that, as we mentioned earlier, before the New Year's kicked off, that, January 19th was quitting day. Like that's when most people quit. By that time, they've all quit their New Year's resolutions, the majority of it. But I believe in human spirit. I believe in the power of when you make a decision and you refresh that decision every single day over and over again, that it is transformational in your life, because that's exactly how we got to where we are. We made a decision and repeated those habits over and over again every single day. And for those of us that have gone on this journey of breakthrough in life, we know that anything that we actually put our minds to, we can actually accomplish, right? Just think back. So you may be struggling to have a breakthrough in your business, maybe struggling for a breakthrough in your marriage, maybe struggling for a breakthrough with something you're working on with your kids or your health, or your, maybe you're struggling with weight loss, or trying to shake off an addiction. Well, the word trying is the first thing we have to get rid of, because that trying is lying. It just gives you a little bit of space so that you don't have to deal with the inevitable and the difficulty of making changes. But no matter where you are in your journey, our goal here on Bill Corman's Mindset Revolution is to give you tools, tips, tricks to have a discussion, and to be able to provide resources to you. We have some incredible speakers lined up for this year to come in here to help you with breakthrough. I love talking with you guys and love hearing from you guys. But there's some people out there that are really truly the masters of this whole idea of mindfulness, of overcoming. We have a couple pastors lined up to come in and speak with you guys this year. We've got a couple hypnotherapists come in and speak with you guys this year. Actually, one in particular. Many of you, if you were here early on when the show started, I brought my business partner, Danny Z, in. Danny with four Z's, and he's known all around the world. He's one of the top 10 hypnotherapists in the world, also a crazy escape artist. He's been the number one show in the history of America's Got Talent, cool stuff. But Danny and I were talking, actually, he and Dr. Stephen Crane, Danny, the producer, Danny and I own a couple of radio stations together, Star 97 FM, WBLR 99.9 in Baltimore, and Star 97's in Canada. But we just set up an amazing studio here in my office, a full-fledged recording studio, not just a radio studio. But we were talking about you guys. We were talking about this show, Bill Corman's Mindset Revolution, the people that tap in, the people that will be coming to this show, because you guys are getting breakthrough. You guys are overcoming challenges, and you share the opportunity for other people to come join us. And so that's just a reminder. So it's not just, the show's not just open to all of us that are connected one way in one business or another. We knew this, you're one of our friends or a friend of a friend here. But if you guys are seeing value with it, again, only if you see value with it, if you would share it on your social media platforms, we would love that, because the whole goal here is that we study the data all the time. Dr. Crane and I were just talking about this data when he was here last week, of how many people today feel stuck. They're in the cycle, the rat race, anxiety, depression, overwhelmingness, feeling disconnected. In this world where we have so much technology to keep us connected, we still feel so disconnected. So why is that? We'll talk a little bit about that today. But again, if you guys see value in this, you want to share the link. Once the official YouTube channel and all that stuff's up, obviously it'd be easier. But for now, you can just share them the link for them to register. And then what we'll do is that once they register and they're on here, then we can send them some follow-up information, some links to previous episodes, if they want to be able to connect to those previous episodes, go back and watch it. They all have titles on them of what we discussed. And then again, if we can add value. If we can change one person's life, then it's all worth it. So let's jump in. What I want to do is go quick. One of the things that we discovered from myself watching the show back and some of the stuff that Dr. Stephen Crane and our team picked up on and our producer was that we when we go around the country, around the Hollywood squares, Zoom squares, that we have to be mindful of the fact that we have to keep it to a time, right? So 30 seconds to 2 minutes, a quick check-in. We'd love to hear from you guys and what's going on in your one thing, your gratitude journal, and or anything that you feel you've had a breakthrough on or having a breakthrough on, or maybe even something you're having a challenge with. If you feel comfortable sharing that, we'd love to hear from you. So we'd like to keep it to 30 seconds to 2 minutes, go around the Zoom world in here, and then we'll jump into our amazing topic today. I believe you guys are going to get some insane value out of it if you take it when we go over it. You take notes, you're paying attention, you take notes, you eliminate the distractions, and soak in the topic that we're going to cover because it's about understanding where we fit in this crazy universe. The topic is about trusting God and trusting the universe. It's time for us to just let go a little bit of the reins. You just let go just a little bit. Even crazy people like me, the control freaks, and want to, want to. I want to help people. So I'm like, what are you doing? But there's some power in just letting go, right? There's very, very strong power in letting go. So excuse me. So let's go around the country. And you guys, anybody wants to go first, unmute. 30 seconds to 2 minutes. How are things going with your journey on the one thing? Your gratitude journal, or if you just want to spend your time, those 30 seconds, 2 minutes, talking about something you're dealing with or a break that you had. Or I had somebody today text me and said, "Hey, I shared the link with 20 people in my Facebook group that I'm part of." Great. We'd love to hear that too. So, all right, let's go around. Who wants to go first?
I'm going to test my speaker. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Um, I'm Cherie, and my one thing, I didn't know it was my one thing when I decided this, but that's what it turned out to be. And that was simply changing my mindset. And I do feel that I've had a breakthrough. It started with the challenge of, first of all, not stating that I am not a morning person. And it has, from there, it has taken off. I have from the day I made the commitment to every morning saying my affirmations, reading Bible scripture, whether it's just a one verse, a whole chapter, and then also adding to that prayer. So that has been wonderful. I feel like there has been a switch that's been flipped on, and it has not stopped. I have not missed a day, so I'm grateful for that. But I do honestly believe that mindset is the foundation. You have got to change your mindset before anything else can change. Otherwise, what you've changed or attempt to change is built on sand and it's just going to fall apart eventually because it comes down to your mindset. So I'm thankful that that has journey has been started, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to take me.
That's powerful. Congratulations, Ree. That's it's amazing. Again, most people quit after a couple days a week, and you're still consistently going at it. And I am so proud of you in that you're starting to see, excuse me, some of the transformation already. And that's very exciting on that part. And then the manifestation that's now happening from being consistent. So awesome job. Who wants to go?
I'll go next.
Yes,
I
sir.
see that. I see that smile on your face. I'm breaking out of my mental hibernation. Been on the phone this morning. I got a lady that getting ready to write a policy for that's going to bring a couple more with her. But anyway, this is really helping me. I look forward to the Friday for this get together and stuff like that. And I've been thanks to Diane, looking at some books and reading books and looking as much as I'm reading. But anyway, uh, it's all good. 26 is going to be good.
That's awesome. I heard you. Yeah, that mental slumber and into action. So yeah, that's good. And so Tony, watch this. Watch what happens when you repeat that day in and day out over and over again. And I love the fact that you enjoy this show. But we only get to spend some time together here on the show. So in between that, my challenge to you is every single day you master that morning routine and you set your schedule each day that you block it out. Obviously, one of the fundamentals that launched this show came from the groundbreaking book, The 168 Game. And so, what I highly recommend is that every night before you go to bed, sit down once a week, map out everything you know you have to do, put it all there on a calendar, non negotiable, no matter what, unless emergency happens. And then the space that's left, we call that white space, or the we call it the space to grow. In that space, that's where you get to add stuff that you really want to do and the cool things that you want to do in between that. But you're committed to get the action stuff done no matter what. So I know, because obviously I know you, that when you do that consistently, there's no stopping. And again, you don't have anything to prove to anybody else but yourself because you know you've already crushed it, right? In your industry, you've already been at the top before. You've already built, multiple, companies up from scratch. And so it's just a matter of taking what you already did before and saying, today, I'm going to repeat those success principles over and over again. So that's awesome. All right. Who's next?
I'll go next. It's such a joy to see Mr. Poplin come out of his hibernation and hit it again. He
Yes,
has
indeed.
so much talent. And I have my 12-week year. I don't know if you could see that. It's been my 12-week yearbook. And so I have been working on that. I have been posting each day on the format that you gave us to do social media. I have had two people reach out, but then I think they were just fake. But at least I got some feedback. And so that's what I am working on now. And working with calling all my list of former clients, and I'm getting some funny replies from them. It's like, I wish I were working on my retirement plans, but you just, it's a numbers thing. So I am really happy to have the input from this entire team and to have your input, and Kurt is such a help. And so I'm glad that we do these and have this opportunity on Fridays. And I'm waiting to see all the things that unfold this year. We're still doing our affirmations. We're a little late posting sometimes, but we're doing them. So uh, it's a great time to be alive. And thank you.
Amen. Amen. It is indeed a great time to be alive. It's one of the most exciting times. If you look back, people that are historians have studied history. The three of them that I follow, they keep saying over and over again, "Oh my goodness, isn't it such an exciting time to be alive?" These are historians; they know all about history from the beginning of time, the Bible, all the way to today. And they said, "Isn't this just an amazing, exciting time to be alive?" And my hope and prayer is that we get to a point where everybody believes that, and not just a small handful of people, that people have that breakthrough to realize that it is a very exciting time. So, Dan, super proud of you of staying consistent and moving through those steps. And this is the thing that I have struggled with for years, and then finally had the breakthrough. And that's why, we decided I got a calling to do this show. Is the fact that the exact formula that got us where we are today, right, works. It got us, it was a decision we made every single day. It was a routine we created. It was a repetition we created. We know 1000% it worked because it got us to where we are today. And now we say, okay, well, wait a minute. Okay, I understand that. Now I finally realize that. So all I have to do then is plug in to that routine, right? The daily routine, exactly the new level, the level I want to go to. Because not everybody's struggling. Like, some people have actually crushed it, but they're at a plateau. They're asking God, what's next? And so it's simple. It's amazing. It's not some magic formula or some event you go through or some book you read. it's just awareness that every decision I've ever made before, the my routine, where I got up, when I got up in the morning, when I brushed my teeth, when I read or didn't read, when I went to work and came home, the mindset I had around being in traffic, and when I arrived at home or my job, and how serious or not serious I took my job and my business, led me to where I am today. So it's not even a question of how do we fix it. It's just a matter of let's just plug in what we want now into the same formula. Is that we get up every day and we have this routine, and that routine is going to literally transform by reprogramming our brain. So Dan, super proud of you. I'm excited to see this journey unfold. All right, who wants to go next?
I can jump on. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic morning. So one thing that I would love to share is a couple of months ago, I was writing in my journal, and I was figuring out what I wanted to, who I wanted to help, who I wanted to encourage, who I wanted to impart. And one of the things that I wrote down was I wanted to help out young men, specifically young men with families. And the reason being is because of my background, my testimony, and I'll share that another day for the sake of time. But I wanted to help out as much young men as possible with families. And over the last couple of months, I've been Ubering during the nighttime, uh, not only just for just some extra, additional cash here and there, but mainly because I have a flyer back there with my business, and I have a detailed description of what I do and the services that I provide. And so, with that being said, a lot of the people that I've been giving rides to have been young men. And so I've been connecting with several young men over the last couple of months, and connecting with them, helping with them. I've even had contacts with them and just exchanging numbers and all that. So by the glory of God, man, like I'm just so proud and so happy and so grateful that I'm able to impart into the next generation. And so that's one thing that I've been kind of focusing on. And as far as the grateful journal, you already know my family's already on board. We've been doing it every day together, and it's just been a joyous ride.
That's powerful, brother. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations on that, discovering one of your superpowers, right? Is that's, helping other young men. I see it every single day, how confused they are. I'm actually going through a journey with my two boys, my older son and my youngest son. We're going through The Wild at Heart. If you guys never read that book, John Eldredge's Wild at Heart, it's an incredible book. It's been translated in like 37 languages, and he has a field guide. So this year, I gave them the book and the field guide as a present, and said, let's go on a journey together this year. And we're just going to take our time and go through the field guide. One of the things that I uncovered leading up to that, as I was doing some research and studies, is that as my pastor says this all the time, as the men in our church go, there goes the church, right? And so there are so many young men today that are just completely confused because, and no fault of their own, it was just the environment and the multiple generations of that. So I'm so happy and excited and proud that you're focusing on that to be an impact and influence in those young men's life, because we're called to lead, right? This is the way God wired us, as a protector, go out and slay the dragon, and honor the queen and excuse me, honor the beauty. But there's so many things in this journey with us as men, the six phases of manhood, that have been so confused over the last couple of generations. And so my plan is to, as I wrap up with them, is to find where, if God has a calling for me, to spend some time in there. But I love the fact that you're doing that. Congratulations. That's going to pay massive dividends.
Amen. All glory to God.
Amen. All right. Who wants to go next?
Hey, this is Kurt. I'll go ahead and go. As I've shared in prior shared in prior weeks, yeah, one of the things I'm working on is trying to use those little blocks of time and just trying to use them appropriately before doing that. Like most people, I'm like, I only got 15 minutes. I'll just kind of, do something mindless and kind of get back to it when I have a block of time. So, really trying to focus even those incremental times on just doing something that is going to help me and is going to benefit me, not just a waste of time just to get the 15 minutes gone. One thing I shared with Bill earlier this week, and I'll share with everybody else, it's also very important while you're doing that to make sure you're doing it the right things on that. So I went down, one of the things I do, I went down a rabbit hole, the wrong rabbit hole. And, after doing, I realized that, I didn't really do the things that I should have done. Yes, it's stuff I should be doing, but is it the most important thing I need to be doing right now? So in not just using those blocks of times, but actually being purposeful with them as to what's the most important thing I need to be doing right now to get that done, and not just something, that's kind of busy work or fun stuff or something I could be doing later. So just kind of, refocusing and just really asking myself, constantly, is this really something that makes sense for me to do now, or is it something I should be doing later? Or is it something I shouldn't be doing at all?
That's powerful. So, guys, hopefully you guys heard it. It's the power of self-discovery. That's the amazing thing. As you start to do this over and over again, you're going to be your own best litmus test. You're going to say, no, I have used that before. That's been my MO before. That was an excuse before. I'm not allowing that, in my language. Just for example, like using the word try. Right. But trying, we know through neuro research and neuroscience today that if you say the word trying, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself an out. You're saying, well, I'm trying. At least I tried. And so it's that seemingly small word is 3 letters, right? That try, or if you add the action, the ing in there, means that in the mind, the subconscious mind, we're telling the subconscious mind, put some effort there, but don't give it 100%. Right? It's literally as they're unraveling this amazing area that I'm fascinated by neuroscience. They're unwrapping that. When we say the word try or trying, we're literally coding the brain, sending that message to the subconscious mind. Well, this is kind of important, but not really important. We're just kind of trying it, right, to try to see what works. So my challenge to all of us is to remove that word 100% from our language, our lexicon. You can do some cool things. This is what I did for myself to get rid of it. I used to say it all the time. I created a risk reward strategy where every time I said it, I had to put $5. I started with $1 wasn't enough. So I started, I'll put $5 in the jar and I'm going to donate that money. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to donate it. And it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, giving to charity is a really, really good thing. But it was just a process of having to take the money out and put it in a jar that I couldn't use that money anymore because I was still working on getting that word out of my language. And again, it seems very, very, very subtle. It is very subtle. Many of us, I almost said the word as I was sharing with you guys, because it's wrapped into our culture for so long and so many generations. We didn't realize how bad it was until this crazy this well, not new, but as they're diving into brain mapping and neuroscience, that word is literally like you're a computer programmer and you're sending a program to the subconscious mind that this is kind of important, but not really. And so that's my challenge to all of us. We're going to talk a little bit about that today on the subject. So awesome job, Kurt. And guys, Kurt, one of the things outside of BKMR, he and I have accountability. And in almost 3 years now, I think he's only missed maybe a handful or less of check-ins at night. And that's something to be said. I can tell you I've coached a lot of people for a long time, and I also have coaches and mentors. And I, don't among my current coaches and mentors, because I've learned that if I can't say to be accountable if I'm not. So I am now, but I wasn't always. And so if you have a coach or you have a mentor, an accountability partner, my challenge to all of us is that do what you say you're going to do, give them the permission to hold you accountable, and show up and do what you say you're going to do and get it done. Because if you do, that's coding the brain. You're typing the formula, right? The programming, send the subconscious mind. This is important. And I am going to do it no matter what. And what the subconscious mind does. Aye, aye, sir. Aye, aye, ma'am. I'm off to do it. And it just starts running. The little minions start running in the brain doing that. But when we use, non non-action words or non-affirmative words or non-go get some fill in the blank stuff done, words like try, it says, okay, received. Maybe if we have time today, we'll get around to that. So that's my challenge to all of us. And again, shout out to Kurt because very few people I've ever coached in my life or been coached of or seen coached or read books that they have someone who's in accountability with them that stayed that consistent. So, all right, who wants to go next?
Hi, good morning, it's Victor.
Yes,
I
sir.
guess I will, but I hear all these great things. I'm busy writing them down, and it just triggers more. So it's really difficult to keep it under 2 minutes. So I will draw on a sermon I have, which is titled "The Power of Three." But essentially, my big one thing was devoting the first part of my day for prayer, reading scripture, etc., and how that hour grew into the journaling aspect and reflective, and it just the process, the journey you described definitely occurred. And there's a time in every season. So even in every new season, it's a new process each time. You touched on a quote a week or so ago about the breaking period, those breaking times where God changes and brings you things. You know, my version was the crushing time and how challenging it is during when people are going, and as we work with people, this is identify this throughout our career wise, but people when they're in survival mode or going through the difficulties and life challenges, that's when they start using the word try. That's when they start using the word can't, and they start putting limiting words in their mind. And it's not just themselves. The world starts putting it on it. You can't do that. Look, anyways, out of that. But I'll tie it to this. My new one thing that I'm adding is taking action. Because in the book of Proverbs, you'll find three words show up all together over and over and over again. There's knowledge, there's understanding, and then there's wisdom. So I'll interpret what came to me in the past 90 days was knowledge, reading, study of facts and truths of the past. Wisdom is taking action and going through the experiences to gain the knowledge and wisdom to make better decisions and grow. But unless we take the time to understand, reflect, meditate, it goes into coaching, mentorship, small groups, being involved and also mentoring as my brother described too, which I have that passion too for young people and families and etc. How that all three are very, very important. So my one thing that new for the next 90 days is taking action on all the things, the priorities, as someone else stated, and organizing that, and how that just transforms conversations, situations. I have my builder hat on, and I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in, what are you building? And so it actually caused me to challenge myself to dream a little bigger and more. So, because to be able to answer that statement just like that, take some time, reflection, and wisdom and decision making, especially when you include that in God's plan and not our own plans. That's a whole nother spiritual dimension.
Amen.
So I'll cut it at that because I'm
Yep.
sure
Yep.
I heard the buzzard go off, the hook's coming out on me. But I
Amen.
love speaking
Amen.
with you all. And hey, you all
Yeah.
have a fantastic, awesome week.
And thank you. Thanks for sharing, Victor. I'm so proud of you. I shared a couple of exchanges of messages back and forth and the journey that you've been on and what you've been able to overcome this point in your life and the amazing plan that God has for you. I'm excited that you're on this journey. You've made some very, very solid decisions over the last couple months, and I'm excited to be part of going on that journey with you. Having a small piece in that because this is if you guys can see this little thing here, this is a little hourglass. If you guys can see it in the let's see, the camera's not working. There you go, hourglass, right? Because here's the reality. We don't know how much sand is in this thing, right? Once we flip it over, it's called our born on date. We don't know what the actual time. This one I know is I bought it specifically. It's a 1 hour, right? And we're doing some work around it. The 168 game convention, we cut some commercials and all that kind of stuff. But the reality of it is we don't know. We don't know actually when that sand is going to run out. That's the unknown in life. But we know that if God woke us up today, when I ever my eyes open before I ever get out of bed or do anything, thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for an opportunity to make a difference, right? Thank you for waking me up and an opportunity to make a difference every single morning as soon as my eyes open. Because I don't know about tomorrow. I'm planning for it. I got some very, very strong strategic plans. 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10. But we don't have the benefit of that, but we have the benefit of today. And that's the premise behind Bill Korman's Mindset Revolution is that tomorrow we're going to plan for, but the one thing we know we have is today, and let's go crush it. And that's why we said just focus on one thing, like one thing that you're going to focus on. One of the things that keeps the one thing in focus is gratitude, right? So that we added the gratitude journal. So I'm so proud of all of you guys for consistently getting on here, sharing, being vulnerable enough or open enough to share what's going on and things that you're working on. I wish that millions of other people would have that same, at least that made that decision, that I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable and I'm going to share with someone outside of themselves what's going on in their lives and take that opportunity. Unfortunately, very unfortunate that we lose people because they're just not open or don't have the right environment or never been taught or have not got to the point where they're willing to talk with somebody, right? Have a conversation, say, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that, do you got a few minutes? And they have people in their life that show up when it's time to. And what we're about to, the topic I'm about to jump into is called Just Stop, Let Go, Trust God and the Universe. Right. And for me, God and the universe, God created the universe. So they're all in one. But God says it, God commands it, and then we live in the universe. Right. And so it's a matter of trusting that. So let me share my screen and we will jump into. All right. Can you guys see the main screen? All right,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, so let me go back one. So this is let's go, let go, let's get started, let go, and trust God in the universe. These are some key insights that were inspired by Neville Goddard. If you have never followed him, I actually didn't. And this talk that I'm giving today, I had another thing I was going to share with you. Then Dr. Stephen Crane sent me this video. It was an hour and something long by Neville Goddard. And he said, hey, this is good, some good sauna material for it. Well, guess what happened? I started listening to it and completely, I said, well, the subject I was going to talk with you guys, I parked that for another week and I dove into this subject right here because as I was preparing for this year and you go into different segments from your daily routine to your weekly to your monthly to your quarter your quarter plan and beyond. I have some crazy, crazy, crazy goals for this year. And I said, okay. And I felt this kind of tightening around, my chest and and the things. And when I would think about different things, and I'm like, but what if this doesn't work? And what if that person doesn't do this? And I know I've been trained over the years. I've had some amazing coaches, books, seminars I've been to, working with my pastor, working with my counselor, who's also a pastor, that I've learned over the years that you got to give that stuff up to God. You can't, but I just I don't know why it was creeping in, it's probably the enemy. But so let's talk about that, right? The hidden weight resistance. And this is what a couple things that percolate is that trying to control everything creates tension and blocks flow. So there's a natural flow in our body that's supposed to happen from the time we have an idea or something that we're excited about. There's chemicals released in our body that when we're excited or we're curious about something. And then this other mechanism kicks in where the worry, or what if that doesn't happen? Or, yeah, we've tried that before and all that kind of stuff. And worry about the future equals a silent message, I don't trust. So again, over and over again, the subject is about letting go, like let go of the reins a little bit. Okay, I'm not telling people that are a whacked out control freaks that just let go of the reins because they'll never do that, right? It has to be like for me, it was a slow, methodical process over the years, and still today, I still struggle with it because the journey's never really finished. Is that stop worrying about the future. We can't control it. Stop worrying about the past, right? The past is a place of reference. Our bodies can't physically live there, so why do we keep letting our mind go back there? There's nothing we can do about it until somebody comes up. I don't know, maybe Elon Musk one day with time travel, but currently, as it stands right now in January, what's today, 16th of 2026, we don't have time travel yet. So why do we keep letting our mind go back somewhere where we can't physically change it? We're physically here in the present. So, and the same thing is time travel to the future. Why do we keep spending so much time worrying about, well, what if this happens? What if my kids do this? What if they do that? What if they don't make this decision? What if they don't do that? Well, it's one thing to um, think about it and then park it. This whole subject is about letting go a little bit, right? Again, if you're kind of chilled and relaxed normally, then telling you to let go of the reins and trust God in the universe is probably not that large of a leap for you. But if you're on here, you're watching this on replay, and you're that whacked out A-type, got to control everything, I'm saying instead of instead of those reins wrapped around your fingers 3 or 4 times and it's cutting off circulation, let's unwind it today a little bit. Instead of 4 wraps around your hand, let's go to 2. Let's unravel it twice, just not completely, but a little bit. Resistance keeps you locked in struggle. This is something that I learned years and years ago from one of my amazing mentors. What you resist persists, right? So if you know that you have to lose weight and you keep resisting it, it persists. And sometimes it gets even worse because now you're worried about it because you know you should be doing it. You gave the commandment to your subconscious mind that we're going to lose some weight. We're going to quit smoking. We're going to stop drinking. We're going to get better relation. You gave it to command, and it's over there, back there, 24/7, trying to solve it. And that causes frustration. It causes worry, anxiety, depression. All those things are linked together. So the goal is not for more effort, it's calmer state of being, right? One of the things I want to challenge all of us to do here, and I'll share some things with you guys that I do, at the end, but you should look at, I'm not telling you you have to, I mean, if you want breakthrough, meditation. You should look at meditation, even if just simple. There's some apps out there. There's tons of free apps right now. You can go to App Store and just type in meditation, and there's tons of free apps. It'll get you started. Start with the basic, like the elementary, where you just spend 2 minutes of breathing exercises, 5 minutes of breathing exercise. I promise you, it will start to transform your life. It's part of this journey of being able to let go. Just a few minutes a day, starting with that, breathing exercises. Then you start to move into the intermediate side, and then you get into the advanced side of meditation. There was a point in history before we had all this craziness and distractions and radio and TV and all those things where and people had a much higher level of mindfulness when we didn't have all these things that were just so overwhelming and distracting to us. But here's the great news. We can still do that. We can set aside deliberate, distinctive time every single day for that journey of meditation and prayer. So the goal is not more effort. It's a calmer state of being. Let's go to number 2. The core principle, you plus the universe, right? So we are part of the universe. We're all interconnected in some way. For me, what I believe is we're all God's children, part of his amazing universe that he created. And we're all that are alive today trying to find our way. We're looking for our connection. We're looking for our purpose. Like, why am I here? Man's search for meaning. I mentioned that book many, many times, Man's Search for Meaning, like, why am I here? This journey I'm going on with my boys of Wild at Heart and the Wild at Heart Field Guide is that specific thing. Like, what is man? What am I supposed to, what has God called me to be? Where am I currently at? And how do I get to that level? So the universe isn't separate from you. Your state shapes your experience, right? So the state of mind that we have, what we believe, the framework around. I'll give you an example. If somebody cuts you off, you guys will hear me talk a lot about sports and traffic. right? Two things that I've had to unpack. Stephen, Dr. Crane got to see a video that my wife Kimberly took of me watching the Steelers game a couple weeks ago, with some spinning some terrible towels and screaming and hollering, acting like a fool. So, so we are. Let's say somebody cuts you off in traffic. We have a choice, right? Some of us don't believe it because it just happens so quick. We have a choice on how to respond to that. We can say, give them the international peace sign, scream and holler, punch the steering wheel, honk the horn, or we can say, you know what? Bless your heart. I'm working on that. Bless your heart. Guess what happens when you learn how to say bless your heart? Your blood pressure goes from here to here instantly. How do I know? Neuroscience. So again, we have a choice, right? When the ref makes a stupid call and your team is like on the verge of maybe losing or now falling behind or should have went ahead, and you're saying all kinds of stuff to the TV, and or running around acting like a crazy fool, you have a choice. I have a choice, right? We can say to that ref, "Oh, bless your heart," or whatever else calming you want to do. The musa, like some people make fun of, like grabbing, which is real. Grab your ears and rub your ears, because we're all part of this in crazy, amazing universe, and we are a lot of times spinning out of control and we don't even recognize it, right? The interstate is the cause, right? The interstate, the inner being of who we are. We don't worry, but it's interesting. We worry about some crazy stuff. Why don't we worry about if our heart's going to beat? Why don't we worry about if we're going to inhale and exhale, right? Why do we worry about, well, some people might worry about tomorrow, but if we're here or not here, guess what will happen tomorrow, right? The sun will come up, right? And if we are here on this side, of heaven, if we're still here, we get to celebrate that. We get to give honor to that, and we get to get busy. Because again, all we know for sure today, that's all we know. So when you feel truly happy, you're not controlling your being, right? You're just kind of think about when you're the last time, want everybody to think about this. In the last, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, going back, maybe you go back a month. If you have to go back more than a month, then there's a good reason why we're tackling the subject. But when we're like just super happy, like something so funny that you laughed so hard, your gut hurt, or you felt like you were like, is so elated, like something just amazing. Think about what that was. Think about the circumstances around it. Was that something that just happened? Were you part of it? Did you control it? And if the answers are yes, then how can you make that happen again? Because what I want you to experience is more of those situations instead, and less of the stress, less of the worrying about things that are completely outside of our control. Shift the state first and reality conforms to it. So if we shift our mindset, if we learn to say things like bless your heart, oh my goodness, I can tell you guys that was still a challenge today. But if you learn to, and I learn to say things or something like that, you know what? Bless your heart. Instead of giving them the what for, right? And we say bless your heart. This is what happened. Reality conforms to that. Isn't that great news? And amazing news, like our reality, all the things we're worrying about conform to what we actually want it to be, because we changed our state of mind, and we changed how we react to things. And so let's just practice it. So my challenge to you today is that if something or someone or some situation or some email and stuff sends you or wants to send you a certain way or down a negative path or rabbit hole, you just take a step back and you say, you know what? No, today I'm gonna try this thing out. Bless your heart. Or again, whatever it is for you that just literally like puts you in a calm state. Okay, let's go to number 3. Letting go isn't giving up. This is a big thing for all of my A-type super whacked out control freaks out there, like me. I've learned, so I am that, but I learned that that is not me. Like I can define who I am and who I want to be, right? So my personality says I'm an action person, like go, 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 go. Let's get stuff done. I've shared with you guys have seen my shirt, my red shirt that my mother got me. It's definition of an entrepreneur, like from a dictionary. It says jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. This is me. It's how I'm wired. I'm great. And I embrace that. And what I do is I allow that, because that's how I'm wired. I allow that to flourish without the worry. Before, it used to do that, and I would say, well, what if this isn't working? Well, what if it does? How about that? Let's focus on what if it does. If this thing works, how many people will impact? What will be the outcome, right? How many lives will be transformed? How will I feel? What's the impact I have for my family? I have those questions that I'm asking myself, because I know that the negative part is still there, part of my brain, and the enemy's waiting for it to creep in, and I'm not going to allow it. So sleep happens when you relax, not when you force it. Think about that, right? If you're trying to force yourself to sleep, anybody try to, like, I used to work shift work in the lab and all that kind of stuff, and I would be on these crazy shifts, and I'm like, I gotta go to sleep, and I would lay there and toss and turn, right? Sleep happens when you relax, not when you force it. So think about these things that we want in life. Um, it's surrendering the how to a higher intelligence, right? So you just know what you want, and you let go to God in the universe on the how. That how will manifest itself. The how will come to us. We just got to let go. What I mentioned earlier, breathing, heartbeat, digestion. You already trust an inner intelligence, right? We already trust that we have infinite intelligence when it comes to those things, right? That if we eat food, it's going to get digested. That if God woke us up today, our heart's going to beat, and it's going to keep beating, and we're going to keep breathing. Apply that same trust to your desire, the things that you desire in life. Give it the same level of trust that we give to breathing, heartbeat, and digestion. Relax into the outcome. Stop trying to, for all of my fellow A types out there, and go, 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 action. People, got to have the knowledge so I can make the action happen. Just let go. Again, think about if you got the reins around your hands, wrapped four times around just in case. Unravel two of them. You still have the just in case. You got two. Then my challenge is going to be to you as you go through this week and the next week and weeks after that. Watch what happens to your life when you start to let go more and more. All right, don't dig up the seed, right? So when you make the decision and you plant it, right, just like we've told the bamboo story many, many times, it's happening, right? It's growing down, and it's going to pop up out of the ground. So don't dig up the seed and keep checking it. You have to trust God, trust the universe that you're doing what you need to do. And if you don't know, is something you made a decision on, has somebody else done it before? You know what? That's amazing news. If somebody else has done it before, you just want to do it better. That's amazing data. It's been done before. You get to stand on the shoulders of giants as you're going on that journey. So stop questioning it. Stop, worrying about it over and over again. Well, how do you do that? Well, can't just say, well, I'm going to stop worrying about things. No, because guess what will happen to the subconscious mind? It goes, wait a minute, that's good. I got that command, but wait a minute, I'm still working on all these other things you told me. So when you practice the meditation as you're going through your journey of mindfulness, you start to let that stuff go. It's just a natural process. So over checking in, like pulling the seed out of the soil, water it with attention. So add stuff to it once you made a decision. Okay, what's the next step? I know this thing is going to be successful. So what is my next step in this journey? Like when we launched our financial services company, Built for Life Financial, there were some pre-work that we did. There was some launch work, and now there's the implementation work, and we're tweaking things because there are some things you learn along the way, the blind spots. Guess what we're learning to do? We're learning to say Musa. We're learning to say, bless your heart and move. If we didn't expect it to happen, no big deal. Bless your heart. How do we fix it? On to the next thing. What's next? What do we have? Okay, great. We checked off number one. What's number two? That's how we need to learn to look at these things that we're wanting to happen in our life. Anxiety and constant checking in interrupts the process. So you can see trust. If the trust factor goes up, that's the green, right? A lot worrying and checking, you can see never gets off the ground, right? Just kind of stays stagnant. You're from day one, you start at the same level. And if you trust and allow and just let go, look what happens on the glide path. Like it's just completely different night and day. Number 5, stop swimming upstream. Flow with life instead of fighting it. Stop worrying and wanting to process and have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F. No, go after it with reckless abandonment. Relax and trust God in the universe, and just know that all you have to worry about is the next step, not 6 steps down the road, not 20 steps down the road, just the next step. Flow with life instead of fighting it. Most people struggle against the current, exhausted and frustrated, right? So a lot of us want to swim upstream, and we want to go through this process of swimming upstream all the time. Why? Why is there a need to swim upstream when if something you want to do, somebody's already done it, you just want to do better? Why do we want to go and make it so difficult? Read the books, watch the videos, get the mentors and the coaches that have done it before, and just follow the process and stop worrying about it. What you want is downstream when you align with the law, right? You want to flow downstream. You want to flow in your stream. That's the separated. People say, well, I want to do something different nobody's ever done before. That's flowing upstream because everybody else is going down. That's because you're assuming that you're in the stream with other people. When you make a decision of transformation, you've now moved to the stream next to it, to the right or the left. And you want the process to get easier over time. You're flowing downstream. We feel, and we've been told, and some of us have read books and been to conventions or conferences and things like that, where they told us like, oh, you got to fight the power, fight the you know the standard, the quote, the standard. You're fighting against that because you're doing something different. No, the only fight is with this up here, right? The 6 inches, and you guys know I would say in my case, the 10 inches between your ears. That's it. That's the only battle that we're fighting. And the analogy is that is the stream. Stop trying to go upstream when you can flow downstream and you're still doing the work, still putting in effort, still working hard, but you're letting go of the what coulda, woulda, shouldas. You let it go to God and the universe. Be like water, adaptable, steady, and trusting, right? Water goes where? Path of least resistance. Why we always want to go where there's resistance? Water, you just let it go, it'll flow. It'll find the path of least resistance. Start flowing that way. 6, maintain the wish fulfilled. Feel it real now without strain. This is about the mindfulness and visualization, right? Being able to visualize, go and see the finished product. If you're building a house or something like that, look at the pictures, go visit a house that looks kind of like it or just like it. When you're building a business, you go in your mind, if nobody's ever done it before, if you built a business that's similar to what someone else built, but you're doing it differently, visualize that. Do your affirmations that the transformation happens through visualization. Find the pictures, go through the mantras, your affirmations that take you to that level. Seeking implies absence. Having implies fulfillment. If you're constantly always seeking, if you're constantly always correcting and changing, and getting ready to, I had one of my agents in my financial services company, one of my agents text me, and he was not happy at all with the response, because the response was after everything he's been through with me and BKMR and other, courses and challenges and vision boards and affirmations, that again this year I get a text that says I'm working on getting back in the groove. And he said this word, try. I'm like, oh my goodness, no, you didn't. You didn't send me the word try. Please tell me you just didn't. Redact that before I get a chance to jump on it. Well, he didn't. And again, out of love, I shared with him the fact that he will forever be in where he is because of where he's at in his current mind state, that he hasn't made a decision completely, that it's over. The old self is gone. So again, what he does with it is up to him. I'm here to help him with the journey, as I'm, obviously here as well, everybody with BKMR. Accept your desire like you accept the sunrise, natural certainty. Accept the fact that this is part of the universe. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what successful people do. This is what successful people that built entire led generations and built civilizations did. They focused on mindfulness and not worried about every single little thing, controlling it. What if my kids, oh my God, they forgot their homework again, they forgot their lunch, did they pack their clothes, for sports and all that kind of stuff? So what? Like, if they don't, it's their fault. Is it a reflection of you as a parent? Nope. I don't care what anybody else thinks, right? I reminded them. They know the routine. They forgot their equipment. They have to deal with the results. That's it. Learn, let them learn. Let them learn that if they don't show up with their equipment, the coach is going to take care of that and park them. Can't practice today. Can't practice means you can't play in the game. Sorry. It's not the first time I remind you, but why do we keep worrying about that over and over and over and over again? Because we haven't let go. We haven't made the decision that I'm going to trust God and I'm going to trust the universe. I already did my part. I coached them. I trained them. They have systems. They have a checklist. They have a book bag. They have a routine. If they forget, it's on you. Sorry, you got to learn. Your job, stay in the feeling of already received. You have to go. I have to go. You have to go to that place where it's already done because it helps the mind to understand why it's working so hard. The minions, they're going to keep working no matter what. But what you feed the minions that doesn't distract them from what they're doing, the minions are the subconscious mind, is because you keep feeding the subconscious mind the framework that we're okay. We're on track. Everything's going to be okay. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The way that we do that is we keep going there visually. We have the pictures on our vision board. We have them saved on our phone. We've created the image. The great thing about, AI and all this cool technology today, we might have not had it before. You may have never been able to find that in like maybe you went through 150 magazines, but now you can tell a prompt, create me a picture of this with this at this color, all that kind of stuff, and it spits it out. And now you get to look at that picture over and over and over again. That's the road completed, the road achieved. The picture's there. 7, be still and know. Power is mental stillness. Peace with the state you choose. Again, we get to choose, right? Are we going to give them, when they cut us off, the international peace sign? Are we going to give them, are we going to give ourselves peace and say, oh, bless your heart? We get to choose, right? Stop rehearsing worst case outcomes over and over. We play these incredible trailers to movies that never happen. Guess what happened? What happened to Hollywood if it kept creating trailers and never launched the movie? They'd be bankrupt. We wouldn't even know like what people's Hollywood what. But we do that every day. We create these amazing trailers for these movies that never manifest, never happen. And just the idea, just the chemical reaction of that causes us to have more anxiety, more stress, and to age our body at an exponential rate. Return to the present breath, relaxed awareness. That's why I said I highly recommend. Again, I'm not going to recommend one or two because I use 4 or 5 of them. But I've gone through and I'm a different level. Just this is what I'll tell you. Go to the App Store, whether it's the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, and type in meditation. And look at the highest rated apps, the ones that have the most download, highest rated, and these will say, if you look at the description, it'll say this is for beginners. And it's all about learning how to meditate. And most of them start with just simple breathing exercise for 2 minutes. That's it. Anybody can do that for 2 minutes. From stillness, inspired action becomes obvious and effortless. So once you learn to be still, you program in 15 minutes a day to just sit still. No watch, no phone, no computer, no distraction, just you and your breath and God. That's it. 8, your state is a signal. Clarity comes through relaxation, not effort. Your consciousness is like a broadcast frequency. So again, you're programming the minions there, they won't look up unless they think they're hearing a new command. So when you give them a command, their head's down working, like nonstop. Never ask for a day off, never ask for a raise, none of that stuff. They just go, 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 go 24 hours a day. But if you send a signal to them that you might be onto something different or something else, guess what they go? They pick their head up and they go, what? What? What did he say? What did she say? So this is important, right? Your state is a signal. Consistency, stable state, consistency. Again, this is where meditation and on the journey of mindfulness comes in. Breathe intensely, short bursts. Inhale deeply and exhale nice and slow. When you shift from worry, knowing, life response. Look at the chart there, right? You go from worrying, very, very, very little outcome or production. When you have some hope, the chart goes up to 60%. But look at that. When you start knowing that you're on the right path because you stop worrying and you have hope built onto knowing, now you've gone from hope to knowing. Look what the difference is. You've gone to 90%. A simple daily practice. Make surrender a habit and watch life meet you there. Let me say it again. Make surrender a habit and watch life meet you there. When you say, there's a famous song out there, right? Jesus, take the wheel. Think about that. I think about it, more and more of us actually do that. We sing the song and then we do the action like this. Jesus, take the wheel. You take it from my hands. I'm letting go. Right? We need to do that. And the more we do that, the more we get to see that there is a role for us to play. But there's also a role for things that we can't control that we just have to let go. Pause 60 seconds, breathe, and soften the body. Choose the state, it's already done. Right? Say it over again. You guys know my mantras on my mirror. I say it every single day, multiple times a day. It's all my fault and only I can fix it. And after years of saying that, I finally realized, hey, knucklehead, you're missing the action. Right? The action is, and I will. So I added that, and I will. So it's all my fault, only I can fix it, and I will. It puts the responsibility on me and the action that I will get it done. Release the how, hand the details to God, right? Let go of the how. Like, how am I going to do this? Who cares? You made a decision. You know what you got to do next. Go do it. Let God work out the details in the universe. Act gently. Follow the next calm, obvious step, not irrational. That's another thing. When we're worried about all the time, we make irrational decisions. Choose with gratitude. Thank you. This is unfolding for me. And instead of asking the question, why is this happening to me? Say, thank you. This is happening through me. I thank you, God, that this is happening through me. And the byproduct of it happening through you means that not only are we going to get better, but then we have the opportunity to help other people. I stop. I let go. I trust. What's meant for me flows to me. I want you guys to write that down. I stop. I let go. I trust. What's meant for me flows to me. And say it one more time because, scripture says, say it 3 times, make it plain. I stop. I let go. I trust. What's meant for me flows to me. And that's a wrap for us today. We're right at the top of the hour. So again, thank you guys. As it's an honor and privilege to be here every single Friday with you at 12. Just as a reminder, if you're getting something out of this, why keep it a secret? Why keep it to yourself? I'm sure that we all know people that can benefit from just having a group of like-minded people or group of people that want something different in life and want breakthrough. And if they can find some small tools here with us, with this group on this journey, then please share with them. Please invite them to come. It's open to everybody from anywhere around the world at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, 12 to 1 every single Friday. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. God bless.